Hey Team FG community, John Yaconetta here with Carlo Cancino. In today's episode of Ask Team FG, we're going to be taking a look at the most important things to consider when heading into retirement. Remember, if you do enjoy our content, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love doing these videos for you. In today's episode of Ask Team FG, we're going to be taking a look at what are the 4 most important factors you need to consider when heading into retirement. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's a lot more than just 4 of them, but Carlo's going to do his best to narrow it down for us. Carlo?
Thanks, John. Retirement. That's what we're all striving for. We're working hard, we're saving money, we're paying off debt, we're building our net worth so that we can stop working and live on our savings and our investments. So what are the 4 most important things that we should be considering when we're starting to draw that retirement income? Well, number 1, you've probably heard it before, that 4% withdrawal rule. That 4% withdrawal rule essentially determines how much you can be taken from your portfolio without having any danger of exhausting your assets. The 4% rule is really just about math. If your portfolio is earning in excess of that 4%, then if you're drawing down less than that 4 or that 4% and your portfolio is earning more, then you're not touching any of that capital. Having a broadly diversified portfolio is going to give you that opportunity to earn in excess of that 4% on average over the long term during your retirement.
Excellent points there, Carlo, and that does lead us into the second most important thing to consider when it comes to retirement, and that's going to be the tax efficiency. Because we now know about that 4% rule and how much we want to have withdrawn from the portfolio over that course of time. But now it's wondering, where am I going to take that from and how am I going to do so in a way that is going to be the most tax efficient?
Before we talk about tax efficiency, we should really discuss what different sources of income that we'll be drawing from. So we talked about 4% rule coming from your portfolio, but what other sources of income will you have? You'll definitely have CPP or old age security if you've been contributing throughout your working years. OAS, you don't have to contribute to.
Yep.
It's a benefit that will get paid depending on how long you've lived in the country. So there's the government benefits, CPP, OAS. We've talked about the portfolio. If you're fortunate enough to have a defined benefit pension plan from your employer, you can rely on it as another source of income in retirement. So with those 3 sources of income, we'll have to determine how can we draw it out to maintain our lifestyle in the most tax efficient manner possible. So with government benefits, and if you're lucky to have a defined benefit pension plan, those are incomes that are going to come in regardless, and they will be taxable income. So knowing that, if that's sufficient for you to live your lifestyle, then you may not need to be drawing down from the portfolio, taking that 4%. But if you don't have a defined benefit plan and you're only relying on CPP and old age security, you may need to draw down from that portfolio.
Now, if you have those different sources of taxable income, like you did mention, whether that be government pension or even company pension or registered retirement income funds, the government now does allow you some sort of tax flexibility to be able to share that tax burden with your spouse. And that's through splitting certain eligible income. So maybe we could talk about that a little bit more.
That's right, John. There are types of income that can be split with your spouse to help lower the taxable income portion for each individual in the household. And the types of eligible income would be defined benefit plan, registered retirement income funds, and government benefits. So with your CPP, if both parties in the household are receiving CPP, you can actually share the CPP benefits between the 2 of you, thus reducing the higher CPP receiver's amount and transferring it to the lower CPP receiver's amount. So that's 1. Number 2, again, if you have that defined benefit plan, employer pension plan, you can split up to 50% of that pension with your spouse. And lastly, with your registered retirement income fund, it only becomes eligible pension income to be split after age 65. So the year that you do have to convert your RSP to a RIF is age 72. So you'll be beyond that. So it will be eligible pension to be split.
Yeah, these are all great tools that we have now begun to utilize to equalize, I guess, the taxation into retirement. We often see it where we have that situation where we have maybe the breadwinner in the household had maybe a higher pension or maybe a higher RIF income. Before, we used to have spousal accounts that were able to assist that. We still have the spousal accounts, but now that these funds are able to be split going forward after the age of 65, spousal accounts haven't become as appealing as they once were. It's very beneficial if you wanted to do that split pre-age of 65, though. So that could still be an option if you were looking to retire a little bit earlier than expected. But where the government does provide some benefits, in being able to split different types of income, there is a sort of a additional pseudo tax that they do have there for higher income earners in retirement, and that's the old age security clawback.
So the old age security is a benefit that I discussed earlier. It's not about how much you're contributing, it's about how long you've lived in the country. And everybody after the age of 65 is eligible to receive it. But depending on how much net income you receive, that will determine how much old age security you will get. So if you earn over a specific amount in net income, the government will claw some of that back because it is more so for lower income pensioners in Canada. And that in 2023, the OAS threshold amount is just under $90,000. So if you do your taxes and if you're receiving old age security and you notice your net income is going over that $90,000 mark, you can expect to see an additional tax for payback of that old age security. And the amount is 15 cents per dollar up above that threshold.
Yeah. So there you have it. I mean, those are the four most important factors you should be considering. That 4% rule that Carlo talked about, making sure you're withdrawing not too much from the portfolio going forward, focusing on tax efficiency, splitting that eligible income, and making sure you're trying to stay under that old age security clawback threshold. Well, that's another episode of Ask Team FG for today. Remember, if you do enjoy our content, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. But until next time, I'm John Iaconetti.
I'm Carlo Cancino.
And this has been
Ask Team FG.